What's up, guys? Welcome back to What's Up with Lucas. I'm here with Andres from High Quality Supplements. We're going to talk about his brand and the story behind it and just kind of learn a little bit more about you and your individual products. So we're going to start it off, kicking it off. What's the story behind your brand? How did it get started and what made you really dive into the supplement?
I've always been in the fitness since I was 17, 18.
Absolutely, yeah.
Supplement wise, it didn't really take off until, I'm gonna say about 4 or 5 years ago. You know, it always starts at the nutrition shop where you work.
Absolutely, that's where everybody originates.
Yeah, exactly. So, but I was really into personal training, but then I was starting to work at a supplement shop. You get real interested in like, oh, these ingredients are cool. Like what does what, how to increase performance, how to, improve recovery and things like that. So that's where it initially started. And then just working with other sales reps, companies, things like that. Then you kind of get a little of the inside and it's yes, the mentality of I can do it better, but also the mentality is I don't like what they're doing.
Sure.
So I want to do it different, different aspects. I don't have to get into full details, but
we'll make you get into it.
Well, basically transparency, and then the way, to consumers, and then real innovation. There's a lot of copy and paste that I see nowadays. And then lastly, labels. I wanted to do something cool with anime. Obviously I'm a big nerd. But,
big anime guy.
Not everything's gonna be anime, but a good majority of it will be. But it also pops out though.
Fills a gap, definitely fills a gap. So the next question was many supplement brands. There are so many supplement brands out there. What makes yours different? And you kind of already touched on that. The transparency, the different products tailored to what your customers want, the anime twist, which I think is really cool and something that I emphasized in the beginning, but I really liked because it's different and you don't see many products out there like that. So starting a business is never hard. Like you said, you just kind of eased yourself into it. What's the biggest thing you had to overcome so far?
Money.
And I could have expected that though. It's very expensive. It's a very expensive space.
Yeah, so it's just me, but I have the great help of my wife. I have great people that help me live in Tyler. So I have a bunch of friends that help me as well. So I'm more than grateful for things like that. There's nothing, it's not a full team, but I basically can say I'm more than grateful for my team.
Sure.
So things like that, coming in connections with people, networking, stuff like that. So, but yeah, besides financially wise, it's just more, say, presence. Online is hard,
Absolutely.
It's
very saturated.
Yeah.
Very saturated.
It's very saturated. I don't like doing all the trendy stuff and things like that. I just I want to stand out by being me, by being us and things like that. I don't want to, copy and paste and do all that stuff. And, social media is cool and all, but I hate being on my phone 24/7.
Absolutely.
But I got to do it. Somebody's got to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
In the future, hopefully it won't be me.
Maybe just push that off to somebody else and enjoy the best part, which is the supplements.
Yeah, but I love the one-on-ones. I love meeting the people, especially the demos, expose, all that stuff.
Which you do a lot of. So if you guys are in the local Texas area, specifically by Dallas and Houston, make sure to come out and see where he's going because he's a great guy to talk to in person. Trying the supplements, you can see for yourself what they really taste like and how they really are. Very smart and educational, so he'll break down what the ingredients are. So another really cool thing, obviously you talk about transparency. When it comes to your ingredient list, they're fully transparent. What ingredients on those ingredient lists do you really enjoy and like using yourself?
I would say for my pre-workout, which is non-stim, the ElevATP, the Rhodiola, and then pretty much Nitrosigine.
Nice.
I'd say my top 3 out of those. You don't know what an adaptogen is. It's something to look into, but it's a fancy word for like mushrooms, herbs, or anything like that. But that really helps overcome the body, mentally or physically, over stress. But some are really potent, like Rhodiola. It's big. If you haven't tried some, try it. I highly recommend it. But Nitrosigine, great for pump, and it's long-lasting, and you don't need a high dosage of it as well. And then the ElevATP, because
that's a great ingredient in there that I personally love and always talk to people about is the ElevATP. And because it's not a specific high or not a stim pre-workout, that gives you that extra energy, endurance, and boost.
Exactly, yeah. So that's the main reason why I love it as well too. So no need to be overstimulated.
yeah, no need to be overstimulated like I always am, but to each its own. So I'm sorting through my questions here because we're bouncing all the way around and covering some really good stuff. So with all the competition out there, how do you keep people coming back to your brand? Is it personal connections, quality products, something different? What would you say it is?
I would say all that, and then trying to educate the consumers a little more, the branding, and again, the innovation of products. Lucas said it plenty of times before, there's not one best product, but there are some best products that fit individuals better.
Yep.
So things like that, and like I said, I kind of want to revamp the industry a little bit too. May I be the person who does it? Maybe not, but it doesn't hurt to try.
Absolutely.
So like for instance, a non-stim pre, which mine is compared to an actual just a pump product, vasodilator, things like that. Those aren't really a pre-workout, you know, they just help with blood flow, nitric oxide increase, things like that. So revamping that, it might be impossible, but I'm gonna try to shoot for it. But
absolutely,
I think
why
it's
not?
something people need to differentiate, you know, and something like this. But you know, and then you know, I'm a likable guy.
yeah, why wouldn't he? All right, so then something that we got to talk about is trends. You see a lot of trends in terms of the supplement industry, new supplements, and I'm waiting for your creatine chews, creatine gummies, waiting for those to come out. No, but how do you stay on top of those trends without compromising on quality and just falling into these traps of the marketing gimmick of the industry?
I want to say I've always wanted to be myself, especially because I plan to compete. I never wanted to look like somebody. I never wanted to be somebody. I never wanted to start a company to be like that company. I just wanted to be myself.
You want to be, that's huge.
I want to do things how I want to do it. So there's no need to jump on every trend, especially if you know it's BS and stuff like that. So no need to do all that. Just stick to what you like, stick to yourself, and just keep going.
Absolutely, that's huge. I really like that. That's a genuine answer. Obviously doing it for yourself, creating your own brand and everything, and not relying on others to kind of source that creativity, which is great. I think following trends sometimes can be the downfall of a lot of companies. So with that being said, success isn't just about sales. It's about so much more. What does success look like to you within your company?
As a whole, I would say building connections for sure, whether it's networking or with the consumer, because now you have that relationship. Now someone that you can actually trust rather than someone just trying to feed you BS or just trying to make a sale or just trying to get your money, things like that basically. Because again, not only you never know who you're going to meet, but two, you can change or touch people's lives in different ways that you might not ever know, you know, so it goes a long way. So I would say that for sure, the connections.
That's huge. I think the connections is a huge part, and obviously changing someone's life is kind of at the base level of supplement companies, and you really can change someone's life. So with that being said, we're going to go back to some crazy questions. What's the craziest supplement trend you've seen in the industry since you've been in it, or since, you know, you've gotten into fitness and working out and bodybuilding and all that stuff? What's the craziest thing you've seen?
I would say two.
All right, two. All right, go ahead. Let's hear it.
The gummies.
Absolutely.
Gummies.
Absolutely. All right.
And then glycerol pumps.
Really? Yeah. Interesting. Are you talking about powdered or are you talking about a liquid product?
Liquids.
Sure. Yeah, it's really making a comeback now. I mean, before it was banned, then it became like something that was sought after, kind of disappeared, and now it's really coming back. So I definitely can agree with those. The creatine gummies, I'd stay away from. Glycerol is definitely an interesting subject, and there's a lot of companies out there with powdered glycerol that can make your products clump and, you know, obviously are going to cause problems for that. What do you not like specifically about the glycerol, though? I got to ask.
Everyone's trying to do it.
Sure.
Same. Almost, just about. And then mainly because I think glycerol is misunderstood too.
Yeah.
You need a higher dose than a lot of them.
You need a lot.
Yeah.
You need a lot, especially if you're a big guy. You need a lot.
So not saying they can help, just with all the other stuff in it, but by the end of the day, you need a lot. So.
And see, that's a very good point that a lot of people don't talk about is how much glycerol you actually need, which is a lot. And it goes based on your body weight. So that's not going to be something you can find in those pump products unless you're drinking 10 bottles.
Yeah.
So we're not doing that.
Just daily.
No, daily sipping glycerol. Exactly. That's definitely not something we're doing. So you already have some awesome products. You have the creatine and hydration in 2 different flavors. The pre-workout as in non-stim, your pumps, your shirts, all that great stuff. And you give us an insight on what's coming next. And if you can't, that's okay, but maybe hint at it. Give the people what they want to hear.
It starts with an M and ends with magnesium.
Oh, wow. Yeah, well, okay, so that's a really hard one for you guys out there. Just kind of think for a minute. You might be able to put 2 and 2 together. All right, so we'll leave it at that. But I've known Andres for quite a while now, and I'd say that you can never really expect what his next move is going to be because it's not following every company where it's a pre-workout, a non-stim, a protein powder, like this really weird kind of systematical kind of following for products. It's something that's innovative and that's actually going to benefit your health and your long term. So I think that's very interesting, and they'll definitely have to stay tuned for that as that develops. Now we're going to finish it off with one more question. If you had to choose one product for a deserted island to bring, what would it be? It can be your own product, it can be a different product, it could be an energy. What would you choose?
Like the energy drink.
Caffeine pills. No, go ahead, let's hear it.
Is the island hot? Well, obviously it's hot.
Okay, an island is hot, I would say, unless it would be Antarctica, which would...
Well, probably find coconut, so probably not a hydration.
Coconut water powder. I'm just gonna bring coconut. No, I got you. He's gonna be bougie with it. All right, so then besides that,
protein powder. You gotta
protein?
eat. You gotta
exactly. No, I'm with you. I would go with the protein powder.
I'm not
as
good
well.
at fishing.
No, I'm with you. So then, any protein powder in specific, or just a broad approach to it?
Broad approach.
Sure.
There's some I like, there's some I don't like, but I'm fine with just about any. So
Absolutely.
I like unflavored protein, so that says a lot.
That's crazy. If you've ever had unflavored protein, you know what it's like to absolutely hate your life. So that's crazy. With that being said, Andres, thanks for joining me, talk about the company. Is there anything else you want to add?
Just try to catch me on a bunch of demos. We're looking to do a bunch of events. I know on April 25th, 26th, I believe it's a Saturday, Sunday in Tyler, Texas.
Hometown!
An anime convent. You know, whether you're big into anime or not, it's something always cool to check out. Bunch of cosplay, things like that. We got a booth coming up, so make sure you come check us out. And then you can check out my hometown, Tyler.
Absolutely. No, that's awesome. And guys, we're going to put the link down below. I definitely recommend checking out his supplements, whether it's a creatine and hydration, a non-stim pre-workout, or just a really cool, badass looking shirt. I definitely recommend checking it out. Once again, thank you, sir, for joining us.
Yes, sir.
And getting on here. Check out high quality supplements. Stay tuned for the next interview. Let's go.